Between growing up in the South and rarely encountering anyone who was more than a casual fan of hockey, I seldom found myself paying attention to the sport. My last experience with EA's beloved franchise was in 2003, when my best friend and I played against each other in order to determine who could date the most popular girl in our elementary school class. Long story short, he won, and I was devastated. Anyway, fast forward 15 years and I've returned to the sport in the form of NHL 18. The game's a mere month and a half from its worldwide release, and after spending several hours with the beta, I can say that I'm ecstatic about it. And without further ado, here are the top 5 reasons I'm excited for NHL 18. The developers behind NHL 18 have openly stated that they've strived to implement the speed, skill, and creativity of younger players breaking into the league. Although the series is already recognized for fluid hockey action, the addition of new, creative attack techniques increases the pace and action of the game. Whether I was shooting between the legs or executing what hockey connoisseurs describe as a backhanded toe drag, I always felt in total control of my actions. And, more importantly, skilled. Granted, I missed the vast majority of my shots, but my offensive shortcomings were redeemed on defense. NHL 18 also includes the new defensive skill stick, which enables players to counter attacks with pokes and sweeps. And I gotta tell you, if there's one thing I excel at, it's poking opposing hockey players with my stick. I lost every match I played, but only by small margins, all thanks to the new defensive feature. Regardless of the genre, unintelligent AI can be a nuisance. In sports games, adequate AI is an absolute necessity. Thankfully, NHL 18's AI players are smarter, as they're capable of executing everything the player can on both offense and defense, including dekes and the defensive skill stick, which maintains a consistent flow in games. Additionally, the game's passing feature has been built from the ground up to include improved lead and bank passes. On several occasions, I intentionally banked passes off the walls of the rink to maneuver around my opponents. Whether passing to or receiving from my teammates, I did so with grace and pizzazz. I turned over countless passes, but in doing so, I felt as if my teammates could practically predict my moves before I committed them. That level of intelligence is satisfying, because I'd much rather be frustrated with my own performance versus the actions of players I can't control. Influenced by games like NFL Blitz and NBA Jam, NHL 3s is a brand new mode that transcends the sport. Featuring 3-on-3 action in a smaller rink, the existing competitiveness of the game is cranked to 11 as the players duke it out on the ice. The UI is stylized and the game's announcer is far more animated as he amps up the crowd. I spent the majority of my time with the beta and 3s. The stakes of each game are significantly raised with the inclusion of money pucks. When a fire puck spawns, it can grant your team an additional 2 to 3 extra points upon scoring, while an ice puck can steal from your opponent, or vice versa. This feature is frustrating, but undeniably exhilarating. NHL 3s can be played online, locally, or in a circuit-style campaign mode that includes objective-based challenges, character unlocks, and rewards. Team mascots are also playable in 3s, which adds to the boisterous nature of the mode. The fast-paced, high-scoring style enhanced by personality and an admirable progression system makes for an incredibly addicting experience. Have you ever dreamt of conceiving and drafting the 32nd team into the NHL? Personally, I haven't imagined doing so in hockey, but I certainly have in basketball. Regardless of the sport, I thoroughly enjoy breathing life into the design and structure of a new team. In NHL 18, you can do just that with the new expansion draft feature in franchise mode. In addition to creating a unique team of your own, you can modify the entire league as you draft existing players from around the world, while managing the front office, the business, and the games. According to longtime NHL fans, franchise mode is stellar, and adding a custom team to the mix continues to generate unpredictability and encourages originality. One of the most exciting additions to this feature is the option to create an original mascot for your team. I'm hoping to design some sort of exotic bullfrog upon the full release. I've got a passion for multiplayer, be it shooters, racing, or sports games. If I'm playing with or against other human beings, I'm bound to find some enjoyment. In NHL 18, there are more ways to play than ever before. In fact, between various modes, local and online exhibitions, and co-op, there's 64 total ways to play. Excessive? Some may say so. For me, it's outstanding. The EA Sports Hockey League is now more expansive, and the developers are making a commendable effort to implement key features that have been long requested by fans, including a trade button to be a pro, create a mascot, and solo challenges. As an individual who's a multiplayer junkie and has taken a keen interest in the franchise for the first time in 15 years, players. I greatly appreciate the additions that the developers have implemented to keep their fans engaged. To veteran players, some of these features may seem minor. After a decade and a half break from the series, it's easy for me to be excited. If you've managed to get your hands on the NHL 18 beta, share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And be sure to visit us online at COGconnected.com to stay tuned for our full review closer to the game's release on September 15th.